Have you found anything?
Well, your transmitter's down and everything else is foobar.
What do you mean?
The base is gone, Colonel. It looks like massive explosives damage.
See, what we're talking about here is an organism that imitates other life forms, and it imitates them perfectly.
You guys gonna listen to Gary? You gonna let him give the orders? I need to get me in this thing!
How's it going, everyone? We're going to kick this video off by playing one of the best levels in the game, the Strata Medical Bay.
Security status Amber in sectors 1 to 5. Non-Gen Inc. personnel are required to leave the installation immediately.
What do you think you're doing, Faraday?
The infection has spread across the base. All of the organisms have to be destroyed. If it reaches the mainland, there's no stopping it.
Quite the contrary. I'm living proof that the infection can be controlled.
No, that's not possible.
The results can't be ignored, Doctor. I will be remembered as the first successful test subject.
No, not if I can help it.
I don't need your help.
Test subject termination sequence aborted. Security status green. Re-established in all sectors.
I've always really liked this level because it feels like just one big puzzle to complete it, and at the beginning too, you have no weapons to defend yourself, adding to the tension.
I need an engineer.
In this hallway that we're in, there's actually a walker patrolling it, so I'm trying to get into this room as quick as I can before it sees me. What I did right there is I turned on the machine gun. There's a machine gun out in the hallway right there. You can actually see it flickering on and off. And I picked up some machine gun ammo a little while back, and I gave it to the medic. He doesn't give you his weapon, so you have to give him the ammo. And he'll deal with these scuttlers that are in this room right here.
God, somebody help me!
This should get you back on your feet.
Look, if you can get me to the security room, I can get us some weapons. Oh, but there's a shitload of those things out there.
Even though I turned on the machine gun sentry out in the hall, you'll notice the walker made its way up there. It'll slowly work its way up. The machine gun will hold it back for a certain amount of time, but eventually it'll work its way into the hallway, as you can see right there. So you really have to time this part carefully. In the original release, the machine gun will hold it back infinitely, but they more or less changed it in this one, probably to add some additional challenge. So I do grab the medical pack right away, but your #1 priority should be to get both your guys in here and then close the door so that way the walker can't attack you guys.
Analyze. Captain JF.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That machine gun sentry's been pelting the walker for the last few minutes, so its health should be in red, so it should die almost immediately to the flamethrower. Make sure you do turn the machine gun off, otherwise it will shoot at you, and then shoot this computer too, because it'll blow up like the one in the beginning.
Yes, sir.
We got
So I'm gonna leave my squad right there just so it's easier to get to them when I need them to fix the junction box. This guy, just run right past him. He actually turns at the end and do a imitation.
I might be able to deactivate the security gate with the correct switch sequence.
This is a real easy puzzle. You just need to hit the one furthest to the right and the furthest to the left, and then the lasers go off. This next part, there's going to be 2 brute walkers that are on the lower level. I'm just going to weaken them up with machine gun fire and then drop down and finish them with the flamethrower. I used to use the flame grenades that were in the box over here, but after the recent patch though, they dropped the number. You used to be able to get like 3 or 4 of them, but they dropped it down to 1 when you're playing on higher difficulties. I think it's a nice change because it adds a little bit more conservation to your ammo and inventory.
Okay.
We got company.
Poor bastard.
Ah, there.
Earlier when I told you that guy turns into an imitation, this is the part where it happens. Just run right past him to the elevator because that's the end of the level. You don't need to fight him. From here on out, this is when the game just goes really off the rails with the action, and in my opinion, this is where the quality really dips.
Hold still and I'll fix you up.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Target acquired. Get that access door open. Shoot to kill.
Okay, so you're probably wondering how I got a 3rd AI companion in my party when we didn't even see him at all in the last level. In the remaster, they made it so you don't actually have to save him. Normally, you have to go to like a jail cell and open it up and then he'll join you there. But in the remaster, they made it so you completely skip over that and he'll still join you in the later levels. In the original release, you actually had to rescue him, otherwise he wouldn't join you. In the room that I'm having the engineer unlock, there's a shotgun in there that we're gonna grab. The shotgun in the last patch, it was really nerfed. The fire rate is nowhere near what it used to be, so it's definitely nowhere. It's nowhere near the monster it was, but it's still fairly useful though. But the machine gun is actually kind of like the primary weapon now. Before it was the shotgun, but now I use the machine gun most of the time.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Area looks secure.
Area secure.
Yes, sir. He got turned inside out.
Open, buddy.
Stay here. I'll find a way around.
Kill him.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All right.
Make sure you have your fire extinguisher ready for this next part because the room that we jump into erupts in flames. Definitely stock up on grenades because we're going to use them for a later boss fight. There's going to be a walker in this hall up ahead. I'm going to damage it until it does its animation where its second head pops out, and then I'm going to use that opportunity to run right past it. This next room, I'm going to throw a grenade in there to blow up the barrels, and it should take out all the scuttlers that are in there. Now that we got both the switches activated, we can go ahead and regroup with our squad. There's going to be a few walkers that we have to deal with, except there's a pretty neat way you can deal with them, though.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This next part, I'm going to go ahead and shoot some explosive crates to take out the enemy that comes around the corner, and then I'm going to whip a grenade around the next corner to take out the machine gun turret.
Yes, sir. We're gonna die.
All right, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Hey, why don't you come out here so I can kill you?
So right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and tell my squad to stay behind so they don't take damage from these two brutes that are out here. In the remaster of this game, you can actually get up to 5 NPC companions on this level, which is insane, honestly. It's really not necessary. I actually get 4 on this playthrough, which even that's not necessary, but the next guy I get is a medic, so having 2 medics is really useful. They're useful for keeping each other alive, too. The room that's to the right, that's actually where you would get the 5th AI companion. It's another mechanic, but again, no, it's unnecessary. I just get the 4th one and I call it good.
Okay.
Okay.
We got company.
I need an engineer.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I got it.
You're in bad shape, soldier. What happened?
Whitley. He tried to gun me down. But he didn't quite finish the job. I'm hurt bad.
Part of the reason I come into this room too is to grab the sniper rifle. It's gonna come in real handy in a few later missions.
Get me a weapon. Hold still and I'll fix you up.
What the hell?
Seeing now they can keep each other healed. I always found it a little awkward that the medics couldn't heal themselves in this game.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
In the original 2002 release of this game, you could actually only have up to 3 AI companions. Fisk, the soldier class that's with us right now, he would completely just disappear when you entered this level. And then the other medic, our first medic that we have with us, he would turn into in the simulation. Real important to stock up on the super grenades right there because they'll come very in handy in a boss fight on this level. And now we're just going to work our way to the lower level. We more or less have our own little army now.
Area looks secure.
Heading back here is real important to go to. Do not forget, because there's a flame grenade back here we're going to have to pick up. It's going to be real important to help us finish the boss. Before the most recent patch, you could actually get away with not coming back here because you'd have enough flame grenades stockpiled up from the levels before. But with the most recent patch, there's literally only like a third of the ammo there was before.
We got
If you want to play this part the safer way, I would definitely recommend using the sniper rifle, but just to speed things up though, I just decided to gun them all down. It's like our own firing squad.
okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. And we got company.
There is a brute walker off to the left, but it's trapped behind some crates, so as long as you don't blow those crates up, you don't have to fight it.
Come out so I can kill you.
In the next room, there's going to be a switch we have to activate, and that's going to lead us to the boss fight. The next room is a giant hangar, so it's wide open. So as soon as we get in there, I'm going to tell my squad to wait in the middle of it. That way they can take out all the scuttlers that come out of the vents.
We got company.
All right.
This guy up here is an imitation, so just start shooting him as soon as you're in range. So the reason I'm telling them to follow me right now is because the next enemy wave is going to have a brute walker, and then they have no flame weaponry to deal with it.
Company.
So unfortunately, we can't take any of our allies with us to the next level, so I just collect their weapons right here, that way I don't forget, otherwise you'll lose them for the next level.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I hate this place.
This boss fight is actually really easy to cheese. Just do exactly as I do and you'll be fine. When you throw these grenades, make sure Blake's arm is fully extended. So basically when the screen stops shaking, like it shakes a little bit when you kind of rev his arm up, but then it'll stop. That means he's fully extended, and that's when you want to throw. Otherwise it'll bounce back at you, and I think you can guess the results from there. And then once the boss's health bar turns orange like it did right there, we're going to switch to the flame grenades and do the exact same thing. Super easy boss fight if you cheese it this way. It actually wasn't even necessary to throw that second flame grenade.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Christ, the whole place is gonna blow.
This is a real easy part too. You just need to make it to the elevator basically before the timer wears down. It honestly gives you more time than you really need. So right off the bat on this level, we're going to go ahead and equip the sniper rifle, and we're going to snipe a few guards up here at the entrance. Before they nerfed the shotgun, this level was actually pretty easy. You could take the shotgun and just head into the rooms because they were so close quarters, and you could gun everything down before they even really had a chance to react. The strategy is roughly going to be the same with the machine gun, basically just go in and spray everything down. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult though. In this level, there's actually some combat between the simulations and soldiers, which is pretty cool. It adds a new dynamic. After I clear this room of the scuttlers, in the next room there's going to be a dog walker stuck in the glass chamber. I'm going to go ahead and shoot the glass, and it's going to more or less unleash him on the soldiers in there. The idea is to let the simulations and soldiers go at it. That way whoever wins, you can just go in and sweep them up. No matter what, it's a win-win situation for yourself. In the room that's coming up ahead, there's going to be an engineer that we need, and there's going to be 2 soldiers trying to kill him. Make sure you take out the soldiers as quick as you can before they kill Powell.
You from that bogus research team Whitley sent in?
Yeah. And your ass says thanks for being saved.
Sorry. Thanks for the rescue. Those troopers are everywhere. You the reason they're here?
Maybe. But they're taking that cargo awfully seriously.
Who's the cargo for?
I don't know, but it sure ain't the Red Cross. If Whitley's behind this, that cargo's gotta be destroyed.
We're gonna go ahead and give Powell the shotgun just so he has some firepower to support you.
Okay. Area looks secure.
The next room has a few scuttlers in it, so I'm gonna move in and then back out real quick to activate their spawns.
Yes, sir.
Be careful at this next part because this soldier has a shotgun, and if he gets close to you, it's game over. So he was able to activate the alarm, but it's not that big of a deal because the soldiers that come out of the elevator are flamethrower troops, so you can just sit at a distance and gun them down as they run towards you. So as you're running down these stairs, there's going to be scuttlers that pop out of the vents. Just go ahead and keep moving forward, and Powell will take care of them with the shotgun.
All right.
We're going to leave Powell in that room to take care of some soldiers that spawn later on. This next room's going to have 3 assimilation trapped in glass jars. If you just shoot the middle one and take care of him, then you don't have to deal with the other 2.
Okay.
Now that we have the C4, we have everything we need, so we're just going to go back out the way we came. There's going to be a vent up here, just stay as far away from it as you can to avoid a few scuttlers. This next room's going to have a few soldiers and then a simulation, just let them fight it out. If you wanted to, you could actually get the grenade launcher on this level, but we're going to pick it up at a later level. Again, just let them fight it out. Sometimes the walker will actually burst through that door, but on rare occasions he'll do this though. As of right now, there's a weird glitch that can happen sometimes with your weapons where they won't fire, and that actually happens to me with this soldier up here. I'll zoom in and I try to take him out, but my weapon won't fire. So what I do is I zoom back out and then I zoom back in real quick and I start hammering the fire button, and that usually gets it to work.
We got company!
It doesn't seem to be as bad with the most recent update, but it's definitely still there and it does need some more patching. This level offers a lot of opportunities to snipe your opponents from long range, and I definitely take advantage of it. This next room's going to have a key that we need to grab, and right after we grab the key, scuttlers are going to spawn, so I'm going to turn around and hightail it out of this room, and meanwhile I'm going to be dropping grenades behind me, and that should take them out. And there's going to be a dog walker right here that breaks down the door, and with the scuttlers out of the way, we can just focus our attention on the dog walker. So I did leave Powell outside during all that just so he doesn't take any unnecessary damage. I'm leaving Powell out in this hall right here, right at the entrance of that door, so he can take out some soldiers that come up the stairs later. And here's where I take advantage of another opportunity for some long-range sniping. Right after we unlock the other two doors, that's when the soldiers will spawn and come up the stairs. When we get up here to the entrance, I'm going to go ahead and tell Powell to stay just so we don't accidentally lose him. And now we're going to go plant the C4. In the original release, this mission was actually pretty difficult because as soon as you shot the first C4, the hangar doors would start shutting, and if they shut, it would be an instant game over. So you were more or less on a timer to blow all the planes up. In the remaster, they definitely made this level easier, which is fully understandable. In the original, your first time playing through, this level was actually really frustrating when the hangar doors would shut time after time and you would constantly fail the mission. It's definitely a welcome change. After we blow this last one up, we can start heading for the exit on this level. If you wanted to, you could actually whip grenades over the fence and take out those scuttlers and start weakening up that walker. There's an easier way to do it though. So the reason I wanted to keep Powell alive, I'm going to go ahead and tell him to follow me right here, is because there's a data room over here that has extra ammo in it. And it's definitely handy. It comes in handy, so I'm going to go ahead and tell him to repair that junction box while I get this one. And you'll notice the camera's kind of flipping back and forth, and that's just because we're both working on a junction box at the same time. We're going to go ahead and grab the shotgun off Powell here because we can't take him with us into the next level. So really, I'm saying this is goodbye to Powell. Blowing up these barrels most of the time will take out all the enemies, but on this occasion I did have a brute walker that survived. So what I do is I lure him back and he runs into another room, and I use that opportunity to slip right past him. Don't worry about this medic right here because you can't take him with you into the next level, so just run to the exit. This level's actually pretty challenging. It might actually be the hardest one in the game. There's a lot of vertical gunfights in it, and then a lot of the enemy spawn points are sudden too, and they can attack you almost as soon as they spawn, so there's a lot of cheap shots that happen. Be ready here, there's going to be a brute walker that barges out that door. As you can see right there, the shotgun fire is nowhere near as fast as it used to. You used to be able to fire it almost as fast as you could pull the trigger. It's a disappointing but understandable change, just because it was so powerful in its original state, and even on the hardest difficulty, it made it way too easy. Make sure you get your flamethrower ready for this next part. As soon as this explosion happens up here, there's going to be 2 scuttlers that spawn to the right. Take them out right off the bat, and then there's going to be 2 more that spawn in front of you, and take them out, and then there's going to be 1 more that spawns. As soon as we exit the vents here, there's going to be a friendly NPC running right in front of us. Make sure you tell him to follow you as soon as you get out of these vents, otherwise he'll run all the way to the top of the catwalks, and then you have to go get him. Here I'm going to wait for these 3 soldiers to get near the barrels and then shoot the barrels. Sometimes it doesn't take them all out, but it should soften them up enough though to where they don't become a problem. You'll notice that I'm going to be shooting at the machine gun sentries on the lower levels a lot. This is just so we don't have to deal with them later. This is the section of the level that I was talking about earlier where the enemies have sudden spawn points and they can cheap shot you. This entire catwalk is like that, so you do have to be on your toes. Again, just taking out as many machine gun sentries as I can before we actually have to face them.
Yes, sir. We got...
What I did there is I told Cohen to stay behind, and then I ran forward to spawn these enemies. That way Cohen's in a good spot to take them out.
All right.
That part is an example of why it's so important to have Cohen, because while you're shooting in one direction, he can be shooting in the other and keeping the enemies off your back.
We got company. You're dead.
Watch out for the steam that come out of the vents because they can damage you.
Yes, sir. We got company.
Again, telling Cohen to stay behind so he has a good firing position while I spawn the enemies.
We got company. Okay. Oh! We got company. Goodbye.
As you can tell, if you were trying to do this section no damage, it is very difficult. There's going to be 2 machine gun sentries here, and as long as you sit in the spot where I'm at and keep your distance, they actually can't hit you. If they can, it's a real small chance. There's going to be a lot more, so make sure you stay on your toes. This section's actually really easy as long as you know where to go. Like, if you follow what I'm doing, you should have no problem with it. Really, all I'm doing is I'm just exploiting the machine gun sentry's blind spots where they can't hit you. Once we grab the stuff and get out of the room to the right, there's going to be some scuttlers that spawn. Just go ahead and run right past them. At the beginning of this next level, go ahead and tell Cohen to stay behind, that way he doesn't heal the assimilation that's up ahead.
Okay.
Where's Cohen? I thought he was with you.
No, he went to the medical supply area to pick up more antibiotics.
And you let him go alone? What the hell are you thinking?
Oh, relax. The area's secure.
Secure? Are you crazy? Those things are everywhere.
Then why don't you go find him?
No, I think I'm gonna stay right here.
Back down, Stoles. You don't want this fight.
Screw you! I don't know what kind of game you're playing here, but it ends now!
Yeah, and it ends with you.
What's wrong with you?
Area looks secure.
The assimilation is always going to be the guy to the left. That's why I told Cohen to stay behind, because when you start shooting at this guy, Cohen will still think he's human, and he'll go up and heal him and reset his health.
Okay.
Area looks secure.
That panel controls the timed security door to the Black Tech Lab. I can jam the door from the inside, but you'll have to stay here and flick the switch. It only stays open for a few seconds, so give me some time to get there first.
Right when Stoles heads around this corner right here, that's when you want to hit the switch to open the door.
We got company.
So I'm using this machine gun turret to clear out these hive mines, that way we don't have to clear them out later on. Stoles pretty much always dies here. There are rare occasions where you can save him, but just take it as he's gonna die here. And as soon as you clear out those hive mines, you just go ahead and get off the turret. All the scuttlers that are left in that room will despawn by the time you get there. Don't open this room up to the right, otherwise you have to fight Stoles as in the simulation.
Jesus, help me!
Look, I can only help you if you get your shit together. Now tell me what you know.
Check out that terminal. I can't figure it out, but maybe it'll make sense to you.
We're gonna die here.
This is a real easy section. All we need to do is repair this junction box and then go use a machine gun turret to take out a gas tank. Up here, the assimilated Stoles will now be despawned, so we can just freely enter this room and grab the ammo. Up here, there's going to be a machine gun sentry up here. I'm going to go ahead and keep my distance again and take it out so it can't hit me. And then in the next room, there's going to be a hive mine. I'm just barely going to poke around the corner so I can barely see it and take it out before any scuttlers spawn. The guy that locked us in the gas chamber earlier, he's hunkered down in the research room, so we're going to go ahead and use the machine gun turret to blow up the door, and then we're going to use it to soften him up because he is in the simulation. The mechanic back there, we really don't need him. There's really not anything else worth grabbing on this level. Okay, so we have the key that's going to give us access to the room where we have a boss fight. There's going to be 2 soldiers outside the entrance, so go ahead and get a grenade ready, whip it in there, and it should take them out. So there's a real easy way to cheese this boss fight. We're going to run off to the left, watch this cutscene, and then run right under him and crouch, and he can't hit you. So when the boss's health hits orange, I'm going to go ahead and shoot that glass chamber that holds the Brute Walker, and I'm going to take him out too, just so we don't have to deal with him later. As long as you stay crouched under the boss, the Brute Walker can't hit you either. After we take the Brute Walker out, we're going to go ahead and stand up and run circles around the boss and flamethrower him. Once you get it down, this strategy turns this boss fight into a cakewalk. After you take out the boss, get the grenade launcher ready and be ready to shoot as soon as that door blows open. I definitely recommend using the super grenades. They pack a way bigger punch than the standard ones. This level's pretty self-explanatory. It's just escape the burning facility before it blows up. There's gonna be times I stop and pause, and at those times I'm just avoiding taking damage. I'm letting the flames either shoot up or pass by, and you'll notice it on the catwalk. I do that quite a bit. Here I'm going to get the grenade launcher ready because we're going to combat a few soldiers in the simulations on top of the catwalk. What I'm doing here is I'm weakening up those simulations with super grenades, and then I'm just going to start bombing everything with flame grenades. Up here, when you drop down this vent, you're going to take a little bit of fall damage, so make sure your health isn't low. This part's a little bit tricky. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop on top of that little shed that they have the junction box in. Make sure your fire extinguisher is going, otherwise you'll get burned. Then I'm going to equip a stun grenade. I'm going to stun these two and then make a dash for the elevator. Once you get it down, it's fairly easy. The only tricky part is getting on top of that little shed. This level has a lot of human enemies, but as long as you keep your distance and take them out, you should be fine. The human enemies need to be fairly close to you in order to actually do any damage, so this is an exploit on them that you can take advantage of to make this level a lot easier. A lot of the soldiers, you'll notice, were trying to creep up on me to get into that effective range I was talking about earlier, and I was taking advantage of that and just shooting them as they were trying to run up on me. There's going to be a little cave up here. I'm going to go into it just to replenish my freeze meter. It's real important to do that, otherwise you'll start taking damage. There's going to be two soldiers that spawn up here. I'm going to spawn them and then move back behind this cover so I can take out one at a time, otherwise they double team you. After you practice it a few times and learn all the enemy spawn locations, this becomes one of the easiest levels in the game. Definitely a bit underwhelming considering it's one of the last ones also.
game over, Whitley.
I don't think so. I control you. Right now, I control every man on this continent. Your pathetic sabotage of the consignment at the airstrip only delayed the inevitable. There is an evac team on its way to this location. Once I take the chopper, I will begin global infection. Game over? This game is just beginning.
Right off the bat here, I'm going to go ahead and whip a grenade down that hall, and that's going to take out the C4 right around the corner. And then I'm going to shoot the next two. The second one should take out the guard. Yep, see right there. And then I'm going to go around this corner. I'm going to throw a grenade to blow up that C4. And then there's going to be a few more enemies that come around the corner. Now I'm going to throw a high explosives grenade around the next corner, and that should take out a few of these enemies. Be aware it might not take out all the enemies on the first grenade, like that's the case right here, so I go ahead and I throw another grenade around the corner. Try to flush him out with a few grenades. This next soldier, I'm just going to go ahead and let him run into that C4 so it clears it out. And the same thing up here. As soon as I go around this next corner, I'm just going to throw the rest of my grenades because we really don't need them anymore, and that should clear out all these enemies. This is the last part of this level, and it's by far the easiest. There's a huge exploit we can do. We're just going to hang over to the left over here, and the soldiers won't be able to hit us, and you can do this for the rest of the level. Super easy. This is the last level of the game, and we're actually going to have a familiar face that joins us to help take down Whitley.
Need some help?
Yeah, no shit. I need you to circle close. Once I fire, you've got 10 seconds to get this chopper as far away as you can.
Right off the bat here, I'm going to go ahead and shoot these explosive barrels that are around Whitley, and this will drain his health throughout the course of the boss fight. When you see those red tentacles, take them out right away to avoid taking damage. Once you shoot all the barrels and they start spraying fire, just go ahead and shoot Whitley directly and it should take him out. As you can tell, this is actually a really easy boss fight. It's honestly underwhelming and a bit disappointing considering it's the last one. And that's it.
Excellent timing there, pilot. Early retirement from Gen Inc.
No, not exactly. On my way back from an extended Arctic vacation.
Uh-huh. So what's your name, smartass?
McCready. R.J. McCready. U.S. Outpost North 31.
When it comes to remasters, Nightdive Studios is among the best. As opposed to simply just upping the frame rate and resolution, Nightdive takes us one step further by completely overhauling the graphics, striking a great balance between modern and retro aesthetics. This approach is also apparent in the gameplay. The original release featured an auto-aim system, which was clunky and at times inconsistent, and for many even made the game unplayable. The PC release had a free aim mode, which came with its own set of problems. The first one is you have to have pinpoint accuracy in order to really hit anything. This isn't so much a problem on the bigger enemies, but on the smaller ones it can be frustrating. The second problem is that there's no damage meter that's featured in the auto-aim system, leaving the state of your enemy's health unknown. Vice versa to the previous problem, this isn't so much a problem with the smaller things, but the bigger things it becomes a guessing game of when you need to torch them. The remaster fixes this by taking the best of both worlds and combining them into one. The remaster features a free aim system, with a crosshair that slightly auto-locks onto enemies to ensure that your shots land much more frequently. The damage meter is also here, being represented by the crosshair changing colors as their health gets lower. These small but impactful changes to the gameplay really help make the game less infuriating and much more enjoyable than its original release. Nightdive Studios put a lot of care into this remaster, and their passion for the original release as well as the excellent 1982 film that it's based on certainly shows. You know, if you asked me what my favorite scary movie of all time is, I wouldn't even hesitate. I would tell you John Carpenter's The Thing.